For the technique I want to share with you today, I'm going to be using Shades EQ Cover Plus Cream 6RR with 20 volume, Shades EQ Cream with 10 volume 7RR, up to 7 powder lightener with 30 volume, and we're going to be using Shades EQ 6RO and pink diluted with clear and processing solution, 1/2 ounce of each. So I'm beginning to start with the root touch-up, and I'm applying the 6RR in Shades EQ Cover Plus with 20 volume, and I am just going to start the root section as if I was applying a regular touch-up. So this is good for your clients who have gray, so you can cover those grays. At the same time, you're going to do some highlight and low lighting, or for just a client who might want some depth at the root. So now that we have the root done, we're going to drop all the hair back down, section by section. And what we're going to do now is take a 1-inch subsection, and that's a pretty large subsection, but that's why we're doing it, because this is going to be now an express service. We're going to clip the hair away, and what we're going to do is actually make this 3 sections. So what we're going to do is carve out a little bit of that bottom section, and then we're going to weave this section so we have 2 other sections. So what we're going to do is now take this and separate those as well. So now we have 3 sections. Okay, with this section, this is going to be our low light, and I'm also going to make sure that I'm getting good coverage underneath. And what I'm going to do now is take a foil and put that hair in a foil and continue to paint my lightener on the foil. This way I'm able to kind of get through and make sure that the ends are fully saturated and that my blend is nice and soft. I use my pinky to kind of blur it up. So this way the lines are very soft, and we're making sure we got everything covered all the way down to the ends. Now what I'm going to do is release this section and then take back the original part of the weave that we separated when we made our first section. So now this hair, I'm also going to take and balayage. Even though it's a weave, we can kind of get what we want on there without having any hard lines and blurring everything in. And then we're going to marry it to the next section. So that saves us time in putting in another foil. And then we have the lightness everywhere that we want it. So I'm just going to go back in and make sure my ends are saturated. I don't have to worry about the underneath because it's sitting on top of a previously highlighted section. So that's what's great about the time saving with this technique. So what I'm going to do is just take another foil and put it on top, and I'm just going to fold them to keep it secure. So I'm going to repeat this all the way through to the top of the section. So here we go. I have another 1-inch section. I'm going to take a slice. I'm going to weave. And I'm going to separate. This is going to be my low light. So I'm going to get my foil I'm going to place that in a foil, and I'm going to apply my low light formula. My ends are saturated, so I'm going to fold it up. And remember, this is the one that we fold twice. So we're going to anchor, and then we're going to fold it up again. And we're going to start to tuck that away because we're going to work on the underneath section. So sometimes if you have a nice amount of hair, what you could do is cut some of it out, because the mid in between will just give you a little more dimension. So this is the section that we're going to balayage. So now that we put in the low light, I pulled out a slice so we can balayage that. I left some hair out so we can have a little more dimension. So I'm going to take my lightener, and I'm just going to start to balayage this section. I'm going to check underneath, make sure I have everything covered where I want it. I'm going to bring it back down, and then I'm going to put it in a foil. And I'm going to just take my pinky and blend it up a little bit just to get more softness. And now I can get in there and really saturate my ends. So I'm leaving the foil open because we took out that other weave that we want to start to utilize now. And we separated that by pushing it back. So here it is. And I am going to start to balayage this one. And I'm going to use my pinky again to blur up, or whatever finger you like. What's nice is when you use your fingers, you don't have to stop and pick up another tool. So that's also a great way to save time. Okay, so I'm saturating all the way down to the ends. Married the two sections together. And I'm going to put another foil. And we're going to let that process, and I will show you the final results. So here's our final result. We did not tone it because we love the blend of how the highlight and the low light and the root just all came together. You can see the depth at the root, and then as we go through, you can see how those highlights just pop and those low lights create the dimension. So I hope you enjoy playing with this technique. It has so many possibilities and is so customizable. And thanks for watching.